diving in. Tonight's topic is achieving workouts even with busy schedules. And it's so easy, especially if you are just now working on establishing exercise or workout habits. It can be so easy to revert back to old ways. So this topic tonight is important because number one, we're going to address limiting beliefs. And number two, it will give you some tangible ways to achieve your workouts even on your busiest days. So number one, I'm going to call it tip number one. Tip number one is if at all possible, it's best to get your workouts done first thing in the morning, if at all possible. Because if we're talking about sustainability, it gives you no room to make reasons why you can't get them done, because it's done first thing in the morning and over. And you don't have to think about it anymore. So if at all possible, now some people are like, well, I can't get my workouts in. Well, in the morning. I can't get my workouts in the morning. Well, the thing is let's ask a powerful question. Can you go to bed 30 minutes earlier or 45 minutes earlier to get up earlier to give yourself time to do a workout? For sustainability, if at all possible, it is best to get them done first thing in the morning because they're done and over. So that would be a good tip if possible. And I'm going to go over ways to sustain these workout habits, even without doing your workouts in the morning. But this is a huge one. If you can, do it in the morning and it's over. Tip number two, schedule workouts like an appointment. This is powerful because if you schedule them on your calendar, on your planner, like an appointment, and treat it like an appointment, then it's going to be a lot easier to achieve. Because if you say, I'll get a workout in tomorrow, but if you're not clarifying the time that you're going to get it done, it's going to be so easy to push it off. And then it's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And you're like, oh my gosh, I still haven't got my workout in. And that's going to be very hard to sustain that pattern. But also it makes you feel like a failure almost. And I want to try to prevent that feeling to the best of our ability, because it can trigger other self-sabotaging thoughts. Another thing, when we're setting these appointments with ourselves for your workouts, show up for that appointment. Because if you are making an appointment, let's say, I don't know, dentist appointment. You make a dentist appointment, you're going to show up for that appointment because it's respect, right? Like you're not going to not show up for that appointment because you're telling that dental clinic that their time is not valuable because you just didn't show up, right? So let's show up for that appointment, because if you don't show up for your appointment that you're scheduling for your workout, you are losing trust with yourself. And a lot of times we might feel disbelief that we can accomplish certain things because we've kind of showed ourselves over and over that we're not showing up for ourselves. So we might have self-doubt on some things because we've showed ourselves that we're not capable of doing it, or at least old patterns. So what we want to do is want to change that pattern. You make an appointment with yourself and you show up so you can build that trust. So you know that when you make a commitment to something, that you're going to show up and do it. Plus, it's respecting you. It's respecting you. And we want to show ourselves respect, right? We want to show ourselves respect. We don't want to make an appointment with ourselves, not show up, because we're just going to, that's going to be a continuous pattern if we continue to do that. Tip number 3, when it's time to do that workout, when it's time, don't think about it, just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. Because if you start thinking about it, a lot of times we will associate the act of working out with, it's going to feel hard. What if somebody's looking at me? I might break a sweat, then I'll have to wash my hair. I don't know. Y'all could spit them out. I know you can. But the thing is I want us to not think about all the negative things that might come from doing the workout. And we don't need to think about it at all. We just need to take action. And there's a book that Karina's like, please make sure you mention this book to them. There's a book called The 5 Second Rule, and I've mentioned it over the years, but it literally is a whole book about taking action within those seconds. So if you're like, okay, it's time for me to get up to do it's time for me to, accomplish the workout. That could be just as grabbing my stuff and getting to the car and leaving. That could be getting up in the morning when the alarm goes off and you're like, I have to get up to do my workout. Just in that moment to take action, we're going to be faced with that decision. And instead of thinking about all the things that possibly could happen because I get up and do the workout in a negative emotion, we don't need to think about it at all. It needs to be a neutral emotion, We need to get up and do it and do the 5 second rule. And what the book talks about is when there's an action step, an action that needs to happen, and we take longer than 5 seconds and we start thinking about all the ways that it might not feel good, etc., then we open up the opportunity not to do it or put it off or make an excuse or whatever. So the book talks about within 5 seconds, don't think, stop the pattern and change. Get up and do it. Get up and take action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Don't think. The whole book is about that. The whole book. So obviously it's a powerful statement, mantra. So I want you to use that, and not just with workouts. So yes, we're faced with that decision to get a workout done, and we can think of all the reasons why not to. But when it comes to healthy habits of a healthy and fit woman, it's just a non-negotiable that we have to get workouts in, right? So we use the 5 second rule to help us take action and change the pattern. Tip number 4, when establishing a workout habit, stack it to another habit. It's called habit stacking. So what this can look like, let's say you don't do a workout in the morning and it's not attached to your morning routine, because that is habit stacking. And Karina told me, she said, I have habit stacked, I think she's like, as long as I can remember, but I didn't know that it was actually a term that described what I was doing. But habit stacking is when you stack a habit that you're not currently doing, like working out, starting a new habit. And you can use this for any habit that you're trying to establish. And you attach it to something that you do every day or you do every week. And it's attached. So it's a non-decision making act because it's attached to the habit. So for example, if you're not doing your workout in the morning and you do your workouts when you get off work, then we want to attach going to work out right after work. You get off work every single day. That's an act that happens. It's a habit that you do. Then if you attach the workout, meaning that you don't run errands, you don't go visit mom before you go work out, you don't do anything else besides doing the workout, attach it to getting off work, and then you go do X, Y, and Z. Stop at Walgreens and pick up some school supplies for the next day. I don't know what all y'all got going on over there. But we want to attach it to things. So it could be, I'm going to attach it to nap time. So I know once my kids go to nap, I'm attaching it to that habit, to that routine, and then you do it. If we are not habit stacking, so for example, you don't attach it to getting off work, but you're like, I'll get it in sometime that evening. It's going to be a constant decision-making process. You have to decide to do it every single day. And yes, we have to make the decision to work out. But what I mean is you have to constantly think about the time it's going to go down and you're always going to be making that decision. And what we want to do is we want to make it a habit that you no longer have to think about, because it's attached to the habits you're already doing, the patterns that you do every single day that you don't even think about. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if we just leave it up to, I'll work out tomorrow and I'll just find the time to do it, we're never going to establish it as a real habit. It's always going to be there for us to decide to do, and which gets hard when we're tired. Okay. Number 5. When you have a little time to get a workout in, because there's going to be times where we lose time and we might think, okay, I'm going to do my workout and I have 45 minutes to do it. But something happens. Maybe a work call, maybe a kid losing her mind, whatever. We lose time. So as a healthy and fit woman, we know, okay, I have 20 minutes left. Okay. We need to use that time to do what we can. Something is better than nothing. And when we're faced with that decision, strength training takes priority. Okay. Because strength training gives us way more benefits to our body versus cardiovascular exercises. Now, I'm all about the cardiovascular exercises, but when we're faced with low time and you're like, okay, I got 20 minutes, what can I do? I really, and Karina wanted me to say this to you, but she and I really want you to focus on doing your resistance style movements, your strength training movements, even if it's body weight, even if it's doing push-ups kneeling push-ups on the ground, or doing body weight squats or lunges, or we want to always keep our muscles and our bones, our joints, all of that healthy. And the only way we can do that is through resistance style training. Yes, is cardiovascular training a fundamental of movement? It is. But when we have lack of time, we want to make sure that we're choosing the thing that is the most beneficial for our health long term. And strength training is that. I do encourage cardiovascular, like running, or even stationary things like elliptical, or even doing like some HIIT training or some boot camp style training. I love all that. But if we have to choose and we have 20 minutes, let's choose to do some strength training.